本期视频是德媒关于 TikTok 被禁的最新记者连线和访谈。两位记者都表示，中国绝对不会允许出售 TikTok， 技术上也不可能，唯一的选项就是在最长12个月缓冲期内退出美国市场。美国再一次在世界开创了一个坏的先例，现在球又踢给欧盟了，跟还是不跟？估计是老样子，又当又立。我们看看视频吧。
As you know, the U.S. is threatening to ban or force the sale of the Chinese platform TikTok, which has 170 million users in America. How does China view the prospect of TikTok being banned or sold in the U.S., Fabian?
Yeah, so I mean, TikTok is really a very special company. It's one of the few companies of China that has gone truly global and very successfully so. And of course, it holds a strategic position for China. I mean, it has a lot of data that it amasses, but also it can be used if Beijing wants to influence public opinion. So it is, of course, a national security issue for the US side. But actually, the chance that Beijing would allow TikTok to get sold to a US competitor is almost zero. Every expert that I talked to told me that Beijing will not allow to do so because of the strategic importance of TikTok, which is really very important for Beijing.
How likely is it that ByteDance will actually sell TikTok?
Well, it's not very likely at all, Terry. It's actually almost impossible, and that's for several reasons. First of all, they have given ByteDance 9 months to divest, which could technically be extended to 12 months according to language here in the law, but that is not enough time for a deal of that magnitude. Also, talking about magnitude, nobody knows how to value the US portion of TikTok, but if it would likely be in the tens of billions of dollars. So there's just not too many companies who could even buy that company if it was even available like that. It would probably be coming down to Meta and Google, and those would probably also be out for antitrust reasons. And then there's also a third thing. The law clearly states that they have to divest it in a way so there would be no connection at all between the US portion of TikTok and ByteDance. And that per se is impossible because even the US portion of TikTok would still rely on that ByteDance algorithm. That's the whole idea behind TikTok. The algorithm is what makes a social media platform like this work, and that can simply just not be separated.
So selling TikTok doesn't really sound like a viable option for ByteDance. That leaves the other option, which is what? For it to be banned in the U.S. And how's that supposed to happen?
That's what it looks like. It looks like it's pretty much a ban with a 12-month lead-in period. Now, the government could not really make people delete their apps, obviously, but they could ban it from app stores. So once it is banned, you could not download it. No new users could come in. There could also not be any updates. But also very interesting that companies in the U.S. could no longer give web hosting services to ByteDance and to TikTok, and that means they would probably run out of space at some point for their clips and videos and then just die a slow death.
I mean, a lot of people used TikTok, like 170 million users or something in the U.S. What are those users saying about this?
Yes, they're not very happy. Now, I got to say, half of Americans approximately, just according to a recent study, are behind that ban, and they want it banned. But that's obviously for these political reasons. They've heard the story long enough now, over the last couple of years, at least 3 or 4 years now, that the Chinese are spying on us using TikTok. So, of course, you want it banned. But yeah, like you said, 170 million users. Many of them are making money on TikTok, so they are, of course, against it, and they're speaking up. And interesting enough, there's also the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union. They say, and I want to read that quote to you, if the U.S. government would ban TikTok, it sets an alarming global precedent for excessive government control over social media platforms. And they say, if the U.S. bans a foreign-owned platform, that will invite copycat measures by other countries. And that obviously is what we're already seeing, because China has just banned Meta and Meta's WhatsApp and Threads from its own platforms over there.
The EU, talking about other areas looking at bans, the EU is also trying to figure out what to do with TikTok. They also see it as problematic, we'll say. What's the latest there?
That's an interesting thing because we have a totally different story here, not related to spying in this particular case, but we're talking about this week, especially in Brussels. We're talking about a new version of TikTok, TikTok Lite, that's been launched recently in France and in Spain. And it has an interesting option. It rewards users for watching videos. The more videos you watch, the more points you can get. And those points you can actually even exchange for money to be used online, unlike Amazon, which of course is highly addictive. And so they see a major problem. They have now, the EU Commission has just now asked TikTok or ByteDance for a risk assessment report that was delivered just last night. But whatever that says, obviously it doesn't solve the problem. So this discussion is ongoing.